y'all see that? But yeah, I'm back. Hello, my name is Mr. J3T, aka Big Sexy, aka the Kentucky Cannon, aka the World Class Badass, aka Chocolate Thunder with the Caramel Swirl, aka Black Lightning with the Peanut Butter Filling, aka the Man of the Century, aka your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber, aka the Houdini of Sexy, aka the Shaman of Sexy, aka Big Daddy Long. Yeah, Big Daddy Long. And today we're going to be talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, specifically the 2012 version. So, the 2012 version of the Ninja Turtles is about the Ninja Turtles as they go out on adventures and they stop their enemies like the Krang, Shredder, and all that good stuff, right? But there's a twist. This 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 specific version of the Ninja Turtles kind of messes with the formula a little bit because in the original in the 2003 version, and I believe in like the movies and all that, Splinter was this rat, right? Who sort of memorized the moves of his master so that when Splinter got mutated, the rat, and the turtles got mutated, he taught them ninjutsu. But in this version, Splinter was a human, Hamato Yoshi, and he went to a pet shop one day. He got these 4 little turtles, and he followed the Krang. He got into a bit of a tussle with the Krang, and in this tussle, the jar of mutagen goes flying, hits Hamato Yoshi, turns him into a big old rat, and turns the turtles into these, the turtles that we all know and love. So, I kind of like this version of the Turtles' origins a little more. I like how Splinter was a human before this, so that kind of gives a better reason as to why he knows all of this ninjutsu, because before he became a rat, he was a master at ninjutsu because he was a human. So I like this version of the origin a lot. Not to say that there's anything wrong with the previous origin, the OG origin. Not to say there's anything wrong with that. It's just I like this version of the origin story more. I like this flavor of the origin story more. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think this is quite possibly the most badass version of Splinter that we've gotten. I could be wrong. I don't know. But this could be, like, the most badass version. Because throughout this whole series, whenever Splinter fights, like, he fucking dominates. Excuse my language, but Splinter just dominates in almost every fight he's in. Like, the Turtles, yeah, they do some damage here and there. They take their licks too. But when Splinter comes in, he almost never loses a fight. Like, whenever he comes in, it's like, oh yeah, you know that fight's over. Because he just dominates. And he's just so smooth with it too. He makes it look easy. It's just cool. I love this version of Splinter. He's just a badass, wise mentor to the Turtles. Like, I really love this version of Splinter. I love it a lot. I also love this little thing where, everybody else and the Turtles call them, by their nicknames, Leo, Raph, Donnie, and all that. But Splinter just calls them by their full names: Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo. He always calls them by their full names. He never calls them by their nicknames. Besides this one time, and I believe season 1, in one of the episodes he just goes Mikey, and it felt wrong. Like it felt weird hearing Splinter say Mikey, because like Splinter doesn't seem like the type of person that would use nicknames, that would call his sons by nicknames. It just it just felt a little weird. Uh, on the topic of the turtles. Now, I like the turtles. I like the this version of the turtles a lot. I I think they all bounce off of each other well. My favorite is always Raphael, and I like Raphael in this. He's a hot-headed asshole, and there are certain episodes where they touch on his temper, and he has to learn how to control it. Uh, Donnie in this, I really like Donnie in this version of the Turtles. He's smart, but there are times where he can be a bit of a sarcastic asshole. Like there's times where his enemies are attacking them, and the rest of the turtles are like, "Wait, what's going on? What do you do? How did they see us?" And Donnie will just be like, "Oh, let me just text them real quick and ask them. I don't know." Like he has moments like that, and I just really like Leonardo. Possibly like he's either my second or third favorite turtle in this version. Raphael's still up there, and my second favorite kind of, I don't know if it's Leonardo or Donatello in this version. I think the slight edge goes to Leonardo because he has more badass moments, and moments where like it's like, wow, yeah, no wonder he's a leader. He's so cool. So the slight edge may go to Leonardo as my second favorite turtle in this version. My least favorite though is Mikey. Now, Mikey. Mikey. Okay, so Mikey in this version of the Ninja Turtles, I wouldn't say he's annoying. Like, uh, he's the comic relief. He's the the party dude. Uh, they, hmm, I don't know how I feel about this version of Donnie, not Donnie, Mikey, because at times there are times where I I like him. He's cool, but then there are other times where he's just so annoying. He walks that line between likable and annoying sometimes, and sometimes he leads towards likable, sometimes he leans towards annoying. Uh, yeah, it could. I don't really know how I feel about him. There are times where he does something very smart, where it's cool. Uh, he does something to where everybody else is like, "You did that." For example, in one episode in season three, uh, Mikey, Donnie turns stupid because of reasons, and Mikey makes a little serum that turns Donnie smart again, and everybody is like, "You actually made that?" Yeah, but then there are other times where he would just they're trying to be stealthy, right? They're trying because they're ninjas, they're trying to be stealthy, and he just presses an alarm that alerts all of the enemies, and everybody's just grilling him like, "Why?" And he's like, I'm sorry." Like, yeah, I just uh again, I don't really know how I feel about him. I don't know if I like him. I don't know if I hate him. I don't know if I think he's likable. I don't know if I think he's annoying. Uh, excuse me. I don't hate him. That's a thing. Uh, but for the most part, I do like the turtles in this version. I really like the turtles. I like how they bounce off of each other. I like the jokes and the that they throw towards each other. Donnie is like, I really like Donnie in this version, even though Raphael's still my favorite turtle. Uh, I really do like Donnie in this version, and the fights in this are really good. I really like the fight scenes in the in this show. The animation, it's sort of the CG anime, 3D animated animation. Did that make sense? Sorry. 3D animated. That's what I was trying to say. It's 3D animated. And the fights are really smooth for the most part. And as for the animation in general, I don't really see any issues with the animation. The animation looks really smooth, really not choppy at all, and particularly with fight scenes, that's where the animation shines, because whenever there's a fight, everything is just so smooth. I like how when the turtles, like, they do spin their little weapons, right? I like the little noises when the weapons are spinning. I don't know why. It's just I like the noises. Uh, but for the animation is smooth. I really like the animation in this. Uh, it's nothing like mind blowing. It's not like movie quality, but it is good for the most part. It is good. I really like the animation in this. Now, I talked about the turtles. Let's talk about this man Shredder. Now, Shredder in this version, he has a bit of a beef with Splinter, which goes back years when they were both in the same clan. They both loved this woman, but this woman loved Splinter. They got married, I think. Yeah, I think they were married. They had a kid, and life was good. Life was good, right? Life was Gucci. But this man, Shredder, this man was so jealous that he reformed the Foot Clan, right? Tried to kill Splinter, but the wife got in the way, and he's the one that killed the wife. And he blames Splinter for something that he did. What? uh, that's not the whole reason as to why he formed the Foot, but that is one of the reasons. I like to believe that's one of the reasons why. But yeah, like, he blames Splinter for something that he did. The hell? Another thing. This man is so petty. This man is like, if you looked up the word petty on Google and you go to images, this guy, this version of Shredder will pop up. This man is so petty. Like, he's just so tunnel visioned and so petty that when there was a literal Krang invasion, right? The Krang are planning on invading the world and turning it into another Dimension X, right? Shredder doesn't care about any of that. All he cares about is killing Splinter and killing the Turtles. Another part, a similar invasion is going on. At first, you think, okay, he's helping out with the invasion, trying to stop the aliens, right? Because if the aliens succeed, they're doomed, right? So he's helping him out, right? You think that he's finally going to put his rage aside, put his anger aside, put his petty little feelings to the side to help out, right? Help out for the greater good. Do something good in his miserable life. Nope. This man stabs Splinter in the back. Literally stabs him in the back. Kills Splinter, and then the world just goes boop. That happens in the third season. Should I tell you? Screw it. This show came out in 2012. If y'all haven't seen it yet, that's your own faults. But yeah, this man killed Splinter and let the world die all because he couldn't let go of his hatred for him. This man would rather let the world die than to just put his petty little grudge against Splinter to the side for a bit and stop everything. He just said, fuck the world, fuck you, fuck the turtles. I'm getting my revenge, whether y'all like it or not, and y'all are coming with me. Like, how petty do you have to be? This man is so damn petty. Like, it's hilarious how petty this version of Shredder is. It's hilarious. This man, for years, was doing his own thing, right? But as soon as he found out that Splinter was alive and he was training students, the Turtles, he just said, okay, drop everything. I'm going to New York. I'm gonna shake him. I'm gonna shake him because I'm the Shredder. I'm gonna shake you. Like, it's hilarious. It's so funny how petty this version of Shredder is. It's hilarious. But I guess that's what makes him such a good villain, because you want to see his petty ass get beat. So I guess in that sense he's a great villain. But yeah, it's so funny how petty this version of Shredder is. It's hilarious. But he is still a menace, though. Don't get it twisted. Even though I'm making jokes and laughing at how petty this version of Shredder is, he's a menace. So don't get it twisted. There's one moment in particular where this character named Leatherhead, who's a big-ass mutated crocodile, is literally chomped on the stomach of the Shredder, right? He's took a big old bite out of Shredder, just started ragdolling Shredder, and he throws him through like this wall, right? A few seconds later, Shredder just gets up and just starts putting the hands on Leatherhead. Who, mind you, Leatherhead is this big mutated alligator, right? Shredder's giving him the hands. There are these big old alien dinosaur looking things. Shredder's giving them the hands. A big old mutated dog and a big old mutated fish, Shredder gives them the hands. Our boys, the boys, mutated turtles, big old mutated talking turtles, Shredder gives them the hands easily. Like, he's a menace. So even though I'm making jokes and laughing, I wouldn't say that to his face. And he has a good old cast of characters. We have this character, Chris Bradford, I believe his original name was. I'm just going to call him Bradford. That I definitely know his last name is Bradford. Sefer. They have a bit of a rivalry going on. Bradford turns into Dog Pound, who eventually turns into Razar. Bradford gets double mutated. Ain't that bad a bitch? And Sever gets turned into Fish Face. And they have they bicker, they argue, they have a bit of a rivalry going on, which is, I like seeing their interactions, they're fun. And Clancy Brown voices Bradford / Dog Pound / Razar, and he does a great job in sounding menacing, especially when he's voicing Razar. He has his deep, gravelly voice. He does a great job at making Razar sound menacing. Tiger Claw, he's another cool villain who's basically Shredder's right-hand man. He's another cool villain. Karai. Now, I'm not going to spoil the whole storyline with Karai, but Karai is another one of Shredder's allies. She has a thing going on with the Turtles and Shredder and Splinter. That whole storyline is interesting, and I like her character too. She's also a smartass that can back it up with her words too, with not her words with her fists too. Uh, I like her a lot. April, April O'Neil. For the most part, I like her. I like her for the most part. There are times where I think she can be annoying. I think she can be a bit of a not not a bitch, but she could be a little if you know what I mean. There's one moment in particular where in season 2 where the turtles, they're fighting this Krang, right? Which more on the Krang later. They're fighting these Krang bots, right? And as they're fighting in this ship, a bunch of mutagen starts flying everywhere, and it accidentally hits her dad, and her dad turns into this big old mutant bat creature. And when she finds out that the turtles were indirectly responsible, she's like, "No, I hate you. Get away from me. I never want to see you again." And like, I'm just like, okay. On one hand, I get it. Her dad is a big old mutant now, but on the other hand, it's not like they meant to do it, you know. So that one, I didn't really. She wasn't really in the pictured in the best light for me in that particular moment. But for the most part, I do like her. She has a big role in this version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. She has a big role in this. She is integral to the Krang and their plots to take over the world. I'm not going to spoil that whole thing, but she is a big part of the Krang's plans to take over the world. Speaking of the Krang are hilarious in this. Like, the Krang are just so funny. They have these. The Krang has these fun little lines where it's like, "Krang, does this Earth suit make Krang look fat?" Or, yeah, they just have these little lines where it's like, it's so fun. They would be like, "In Krang's face," or just little lines like that. It's the Krang's fun. I like the Krang in this. The Krang are funny. Now, the third season, I have to say, is probably my favorite season, because in the third season, that's where they really start to play with the visuals of the show. There are some horror moments too. There's this villain called the Creep, who is basically Jason Voorhees, and there are some episodes in season 3 where it's straight up horror, and that was cool to see. But even before season 3, we did get some of those moments with like some of the mutations that would happen. There's one moment where this villain called the Rat King, he has his whole plan to turn people into rats, and we see one of his failed experiments, and it's just all that poor rat human thing is all disfigured, and he's just pretty much begging for death, basically, pretty much begging to die. That was creepy. So I like the visuals in season 3. That's probably my favorite season. Season 3 is also where, I just want to mention it real quick. Season 3 is where the voice actor for Leonardo changes. The original voice actor, I think his name is Jason Biggs. He didn't come back for season 3, and they replaced him with Seth Green, who, if you don't know Seth Green is a voice actor for Robot Chicken. I believe he's the creator, too, of Robot Chicken. I don't know. I don't really know Robot Chicken that well, but I believe he's the creator, and he's also a voice. He voices a few characters in that show, too. Now, when I first watched this back in 2012, 2013, all that, when I first heard about this, and when I first heard Seth Green voicing Leo, I didn't hate it. It took some getting used to, because Jason Biggs, I felt like Jason Biggs was a great voice for Leo. Jason Biggs really encaptured, the teenage aspect of Leo, but also the responsible leader. I felt like he captured Leo well. But Seth Green, he does a good job. You know, he doesn't do a bad job at all. He does a really good job. It's just, it took me a while to get used to Seth Green's voice back then, and now, rewatching it now, it still took me a while to get used to it because, again, Jason Biggs was just a great voice for Leonardo. But Seth Green did a great job, you know? Uh, he has. He sounds. I read one comment where it's like, Seth Green voicing Leo sounds like Leo hit puberty. And it really does, because, like, Seth Green has a much deeper voice than Jason Biggs. And, yeah, it does sound like Leo hit puberty. They do explain, though, why Seth Green's voice is coming out of Leo. They do explain why. I'm not going to tell you the explanation, but they do explain how Leo's voice changed from Jason Biggs to Seth Green. So, clever on you, writers. Clever, clever dogs. But, all in all, I really like this version of the Ninja Turtles. There's not really any cons I could think of. There's not really anything bad, per se, that I can think of this show. There's not that many filler episodes. The animation's good. I like most of the characters, even though most of the characters can be kind of grind on my nerves a little bit. But for the most part, I can't really think of any cons of this version of the show, Turtles. Good animation, good characters, great fight scenes, great visuals, great performances from all the voice actors. Yeah, I don't really have any complaints. I really like the show. It's my favorite version of the Ninja Turtles. So, with that being said, I give it 2 thumbs up with a J3T stamp of approval. I really like it. That's about it. You can watch it on Netflix, but on Netflix, I believe they only have the first season. You can watch it on Amazon Prime, and I believe you can watch the series on Hulu. But since I love y'all, I'm gonna link the website of where I'm watching the show right now. So you're welcome. Just go in the description. You're welcome. But yeah, that's about it. So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. But if you really, and I mean really, 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 really like me, consider subscribing. Ring that bell so you always know whenever I upload, because it's free. It's free. It's free. Subscribe. I literally just need one more subscriber to reach 100 subscribers. So subscribe. You subscribe. I just need one. I just need one person. I'm at 99 subscribers. I just need one person to hit 100. I just need one more person to subscribe. So please subscribe. Deuces.